You have a finite amount of time to book an appointment. These people, you're forgetting that they might be with their kids, that they're driving, that they're at work. Like, they don't have time to have a full-on conversation with you about all their past history. And here's the tad bit. You should not care if they've done CrossFit. Like, stop asking that question. You're going to find it out when they come in for a consult. So
you're an inspiration to our entire organization.
Welcome to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast. We're going to be talking the done-for-you marketing and sales strategies proven to work with boutique fitness gyms to increase quality lead flow and grow your revenue. Don't try to be a professional marketer and waste tons of money. Let the experts at Lasso do it for you. And now, here are your hosts, Blake Ruff and Sherman Merritt.
All right, guys, here we go. Another episode of Gym Marketing Made Simple. Today, Blake and I, we are going to dive into the ad space and lead nurture, because those are some of the biggest pain points that we're seeing out right now. Some things are going great. Some things need improvement. So we just want to give you guys sort of, some help, right? We just want to help you guys, give you some great info so that your gym can continue to grow. So, Blake, you ready to get going, man? All right. So, first thing, let's talk about the ads, Blake. Let's jump into that. I think that's one of the big things that, everyone sort of comes to us about talking about. But, let's talk about how the ad space is right now, what we're seeing on the back end, cost per lead and all of that stuff.
Yeah, I think, if you go back about, what was it, like probably last year, like everybody was talking about how you're never going to see $5 leads again. You're never going to see, $10 leads. Well, the crazy thing is actually we're seeing it with probably about 50% of our gyms right now. So I know a report came out by a big company saying that like the average cost per lead is like between 27 and 37 bucks for like in the fitness space, in the studio space, or the CrossFit space that most of you guys are in. But our gyms are seeing anywhere. I mean, we can never promise this. We have gyms as low as $1 leads up to like majority or $15 and under. So if you're getting, $30 leads, like obviously reach out to us. We can help and we can work with you. But I've never in 10 years of doing this, plus working with thousands of gyms, seen cost per lead actually so low. And it's crazy. And it could be, we spend, and we always tell people the biggest advantage to working with us is we get to test the copy with hundreds of gyms, and we spend thousands of dollars. I think last year we probably spent over $500,000 on ads. So we get to test things on a big scale and keep dialing in and keep refining things. So our cost per lead right now is unreal, and our gyms are just crushing it because they're getting this constant flow of leads over and over every single month. That's predictable. That's good leads. Like we say, like, just to be transparent, disclaimer, put an asterisk here. Like, we can never promise like 100% like the best leads out there. You're going to have some knuckleheads. It's just the way it is, right? But like I said, if you guys are getting like, $30 leads and you're just getting everybody that's ton of junk and, saying free. And that's the thing is like, we're getting $5 leads without saying anything's for free, creating great like offers that are not discounts, that are probably making you charge more. And our gyms are just doing great. And I've never seen a better time to run ads than right now.
Yeah. The thing that I'm seeing is as well, in addition to that, is the people that are really dialed into what we're doing, right? Really dialed into, yes, they're getting low cost per lead and all of that stuff, because I think that's one of the biggest things that people come to us, right? Like, we're very, I don't want to say hesitant, I can't think of the right word, but we're very sort of apprehensive when someone comes to us and says, hey, I only want good leads. I only want people that are going to come in and sign up. Well, guys, I'm here to tell you, like Blake mentioned earlier, if any marketing agency promise you that, they're lying, right? Because Here's the thing, Blake and I, we spent a ton of money on becoming excellent copywriters with StoryBrand. Shout out to my mentor Donna Miller. And so the wording that we use, it is going to attract people, right? The people are going to respond, and we can't guarantee that our wording isn't going to attract someone that can't afford your services, right? Uh, I think more often than not, when I'm talking to these gyms, they're like, well, should I do this and should I do that? Listen, if your gym is still in a place of growth where you want to grow, you need to make sure that you are talking to as many people as possible, right? Now, I know that some people, they're just like, well, I don't want to deal with this person. And that's totally fine. But you're not only going to deal with these people that are going to come in ready to sign up for $2,000 a month personal training packages, guys. So you have to deal with the good folks and the bad folks, quote unquote, bad folks, for lack of a better term, because there are no, you know, people that there's no way for us to tell you every single person that comes in is going to sign up, right? Uh, Blake and I, we sort of talk about at the top of the funnel. Blake, sort of run them through, if they had 100 leads, then let's talk about just 100 leads. I'm not talking about anything else, pure leads. How many would you
Yeah.
expect them to sign up?
So, and I want to, after I go through this, because if you guys are listening to this, we want you to walk away with some practical advice and what to do, just like little things to fix your marketing going forward. So after, go through this, give you guys some practical advice you can take away and hopefully bring that cost per lead down. So if you're getting 100 leads, right? 100 leads, and what is a lead? Like, let's just start there. What is a lead? A lead is just somebody giving you their information, their phone number, email, and name, and it's going to your system, your CRM, to be clear. If you don't have a CRM, get a CRM. It's just the cost of doing business. If you're texting people from your cell phone, hook up with our guys at Push Press. Just tell them we sent you. They're great. They'll set you up on Grow. Right? So if you don't have a CRM, let's start there. So if you get 100 leads, getting their contact info, the gold standard, and like I say gold, like you're getting a gold star, or like your teacher puts a gold star on the board, you did great. You have 50 booked appointments, right? So like the best thing we're seeing with our gyms, a lot of them are doing, because I own 2 gyms. The worst thing in the world was ever driving to the gym and somebody not showing up, right? Like it just really made you mad. It made you hate paid marketing. And honestly, it was probably not that many, but it was those pain in the butt people made it seem like everybody was doing it, right? So most of our clients are doing like a discovery call first to like pre-qualify them. It's better to waste 10 minutes of your life than 30 in driving. So quick 5 to 10 minute phone call. If you guys need that phone script, like we've put it out there before, just shoot us an email, either Blake at lassoframework.com, Sherman at Lasso Framework. We'll send it back to you guys. But so you're going to get 50 booked appointments. Probably out of those 50 with a phone call, you probably should have probably about 35, 40 actually show up because it's just a phone call, right? And you have to have a reminder workflow. If you're not, we'll get into this in a minute. Man, this episode actually might go longer than I thought. If you're not setting up a reminder workflow and you're just like, oh, talk to you Wednesday at 5, and you don't send them anything, they're not going to show up. Life is busy. People I don't know, touch their phones 2,000 times a day and have X amount of things going on. They're going to forget. And it's not on them that they're a crappy lead. You did a crappy job of not scheduling them. So you get 35 that show up. You're going to pre-qualify them. You probably book another, probably book 25 to 28 of those people. And then you're probably going to have about 14 of those people show up, right? 14 to 20, depending on how good you are at things like that. So out of 100 leads, really simple. If you get 100 leads, you should have a 10 to 20% conversion. Our best gym does like 25%. So they would sign up 25 of those people. Worst case scenario, you're signing up 10. So 10 to 25 should be your range there. If you're below that, then you need to look. We get on so many calls and it's like, well, no one's showing up. And you're like, well, how many booked appointments? And they're only counting showed. Like you have to know every single metric: leads, booked appointments, showed, and signed up. So that way you can look at those and be like, diagnose which part of the funnel is actually not working. To be clear, our best clients get on phone calls to check in and fill out their growth scorecard and know their numbers. If you don't know your numbers, you don't know what to fix. Like, it's just simple as day. Like, Mark Cuban, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. Same thing here. So somewhere in there, something could be going wrong. If you're not getting enough booked, honestly, you're just being lazy and probably not responding quick enough. If studies have been done, if it takes you more than 5 minutes to respond to a lead when they come in, 80% drop off in booked appointments. Or it could be the latter, if they're just too far away, which is your radius. From booked to showed it could be that you're booking them too far out and they're just not coming in. Anything over 3 to 4 days, they're not going to show up. So dial back your scheduling. Also, if somebody can't come in for 7 days to your gym, are they really ready for fitness? Like, are they really ready for your gym? Like, they probably have too much going on already. And then show to close is like sales, right? And the other thing we do here, just to be clear, at Lasso, is we train you and your staff on sales. Because our friend I've heard Stu say, you're probably really great when Susie's best friend comes into the gym and Susie basically sold him. And the only way to not sell her is like completely destroy it and mess up the consult. She's ready to buy. You have to think of the roles being switched of those people are basically seeking you out. Now you're reversing the role and seeking them out, right? So I think that's a big thing that you have to get better at sales, because let Sherman go on this tangent for a minute, but everybody would get off, oh, I'm amazing at sales. Oh, well, yeah, of course you are. Every person that comes in your gym is organic and did the education before they came in your gym. So knowing in that funnel, if you're not tracking every one of those, let me be clear, you should not run paid marketing, because you're always going to feel it's not going to work if you're not tracking your data. That's one of the biggest things. That's one of our huge advantages, other than knowing what ads are going to work. We're going to fix your marketing funnel, and it's not more of a feeling that this isn't working. It's going to be, hey, this is where it's not going right. It's either we can get you the leads. That's never a problem. It's somewhere in that funnel is going wrong.
Yeah, sort of to piggyback off what you're talking about, Blake, I think that, there are times that people should not run paid marketing, right? That's actually what we're going to title this one, grab everyone's attention, because I think that's what some of the mentor groups are trying to do now, say why you
don't
shouldn't
run paid marketing. You can 2x your gym by never doing anything. It's field of dreams.
I think that, if you are not keeping up with the leads, right? Again, this goes back to when you're only dealing with organic leads, right? So people that search you out, people that want to get in shape, they're searching on their own, they're talking to their friends. When they come to you, unless you just do a horrible job, more times than not, they're going to sign up, right? Because they've already done the work. They've already made up their mind. Now they're following protocol that you've put in place to get them going, right? So whether that's a free class, a free intro, whatever that first step looks like, they're doing that because they know, okay, for me to get started, I have to do this. But when we flip that and we start fishing for clients, people that may not know about us, may not trust us, they're just at work and they see this ad that grabs their attention and they say, oh, this looks cool. Let me give them my info. Now, when you reach out to them, and if you can get them in to come talk with you, now it becomes a real sales opportunity for you, right? Because if you can't tell them why they should hand over $200, $200+ a month, they're going to say, oh, let me go home and think about it. And then we all in the gym industry know what that means when they say that they're going to go home and think about it. 9 times out of 10, they're not coming back, right? So if you guys are not really dialed into the nurture process, you're going to struggle when you run paid marketing. And I think that's one of the biggest things that we see with folks when they first start with paid marketing. They may be okay at sales, but they're okay at warm traffic. They're not okay at cold traffic. And there's a difference. And it really comes down to the sales skills, the system that you have in place, the discovery call script, the sales training, which is why we really dive into that as well at Lasso, because yes, we want to get you the leads, but we can get you the best leads in the world. If you can't close them, you're going to say, oh, every person is not good. These leads aren't good. And again, we get it, guys. Every lead is not going to sign up, right? We get that. But if you run paid marketing for months, it should return an ROI every single time, right? Because again, we're not saying anything is free, so we're not doing the whole bait and switch that so many folks come to us about. One of the first caveats is, hey, listen, I want to give this a try. I heard great things about you guys, but I don't want to do the bait and switch, guys. The bait and switch is a thing of the past. I don't think there are many people out there doing the bait and switch anymore. So when you get in contact with us, you don't have to worry about it. We're not doing the bait and switch anymore.
Yeah. So, for you guys, like maybe you're running your own ads right now. I want to give you a couple things to take away from this, and then we're going to dial into like lead nurture here in a second and kind of some tips on that. So the first thing, like you have to think about like Facebook and Instagram is like when you're scrolling, it's the image that makes you stop first. Whether you recognize it or not, it's the image, right? So you want to be testing like 10 good images. When I say good, like what regulates as good? People showing people's faces, right? Like not looking intimidating, looking like somebody that like probably you want in the gym. Women, when you're doing like women's ads and niching in that area, you want to make it more look like an average looking like photogenic person. Men, you can have ripped dudes all you want. The same reason why I always say like the old days, like you walk through like the magazine aisle, Men's Health, it's always going to be like Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, all those guys, like the workouts they did to get jacked, or like the 300 workout, right? Like all those guys are going to be on the cover. That's like you have to look at how other advertisings are working, and that's the same that's going to work for you. Now you might say like, I don't want dudes in my gym without their shirt off. That's fine, but guys still want to look like that, and that's their goal, right? So the image is number one. Then number two is the headline, and headline is like what's underneath. So it can't be something just crazy. It's got to be something short, sweet, and to the point, and that captures their eye. And then they're going to read the copy. So that's the way it works. It's kind of like down to the headline and then up to the copy. And then the copy's got to resonate with what's going on in the offer. And it's got to talk about pain points and how you're going to get them to the results that they're desiring, right? So I always say, like, if you have a room of 100 people, even if you have gym owners, if you think of yourself, right? Like you're in a room with 100 other people, and they say, like, how many people want to lose weight? 90 people out of the 100 are probably going to raise their hand. So if you're not talking about like weight loss, and like you may not be a weight loss gym, that's fine. But like I remember after Thanksgiving or Christmas, like I was like, dude, I got to lose like 5 pounds. Like I got to get back in shape. Like that's still the same thing on like, what I want as a previous gym owner that works out every single day. So then you can talk about like more niche stuff. Like, have you been like, you can dial in for like 40 years old, 50-year-old, like know your target market. So, but the problem being when I'm saying all this, like you got to imagine now you're doing 10 different images. They let you do 5 different copies, couple headlines. You're looking at 100 different tests. It will, so kind of the metric for testing is like you want to spend like 2 to 3x what it would cost you to acquire somebody for 1 month. So say your membership is $300. You need to spend anywhere from $600 to $900 before you turn that ad off. The problem is most boutique gym owners can't test 5 different tests at $900 or $600 and spend $3,000 to $4,500 and just waste that money, right? Like that's the big problem. And probably why you listen to this may have said like paid marketing doesn't work. You just didn't, it's hard to test a bunch of stuff. That again, going back to like, that's why the advantage of working with us, we just like to, I don't want to say we blow money, but we have to blow money we have to blow money to see if it's actually going to work for our clients. So like we'll put up an ad and test it. We'll give away $500 for, 5 different gyms or whatever and see what works really quickly. And then you just dial it in. Once you get that, like you have that, like, hey, this image works, this copy works. I'm going to keep that image, but I'm going to try a new copy. And then you can keep getting that ad to the lowest cost per lead possible. But in the beginning, you got to start broad and then you got to narrow it in. So to sum that up, image, headline, and then copy. But you need to be prepared to spend, if your membership's $200, $400 to $600 before turning that off. Now that sounds like a bad idea, but you got to remember, if you sign up 2 people and you spent $400, you broke even and they're going to stay around for hopefully another at least 3 months. You really made $1,200 off of $400. That's a 300% return. And we could go on a tangent about this, about how, unfortunately, when it comes to the gym industry, people think they need 100% return, where if you go to any investment, you're getting like a 10% return over like a year span, right? So like, yeah, that's another tangent. But anyways, so that's the biggest thing, right? So like, hopefully you guys can take that and really, really dial in those. But here's the thing, like you're as a gym owner, like you should not be a professional marketer. And we're always testing new stuff. You don't have time. I don't care what the gurus say. I don't care. It's just the same reason you shouldn't waste your time cleaning the bathrooms and you should hire somebody else to do it. It's a waste of your time. And it's something that you're actually going to spend way more money and waste way more money. Like we get people that say like, hey, well, our management fee, but it saves you. How much time do you actually get back to do the things that you can actually grow your gym? And that's a big thing as well. So you guys just have to dial in that marketing. And if it's not working, or, our best clients, to be honest, if you're this person listening, you're like, okay, and would I be somebody good for Lasso? It's somebody that doesn't want to run paid marketing, that doesn't want to learn it, that doesn't want to micromanage it, but wants to just track the data, grow their gym, and somebody else do that for them and trust them in it. Right. And Sherman, anything else to add on that? Who's a great client for us?
Yeah, I think,
and probably doing over like $20,000 of revenue, just to be clear.
Yeah, like not to sort of, obviously we're a marketing company, so we want people to market, but I think that, the time that our clients save, they all rave about it, right? Like the guys and girls that are serious about growing their business, they understand that they can't do everything, right? They understand that they're not going to spend hours as we do every single day dealing with copy and looking at photos and looking at cost per lead and looking at impressions and all of that stuff to make sure it is optimized. So, if you're someone that wants to learn and really dive into the Facebook world, we wouldn't be the marketing company for you. And that's okay. But if you're someone that wants to get on a call every couple of weeks to make sure everything is going great, you're getting the ROI, and you want to be totally hands off, then we're the marketing company for you guys. And obviously, we specialize in gyms, right? That's our big thing, right? That's our claim to fame. 95% of our clients are gyms. We have a small sort of 5% that when we come across cool projects, we may dive into that. But most of our clients, they are gyms. We understand the gym space. Blake had 2 gyms. I had a gym for 13 years. Guys, we know the space. So that's what gives us the competitive advantage on top of us spending all of our time in this space day in and day out. So yeah, Blake, I think that's pretty much it.
Let's spend, we got about 7 minutes left for 30 minutes. Let's spend about the last 7 minutes going over lead nurture. So the biggest downfall we see in gyms is everybody's like, I got the system set up, I got all that. And then we start, if you're not responding to leads like quickly and like, man, I say within, I mean, just being transparent, like if you can't get back to people within 10 to 15 minutes, like you're not set up properly, right? Like if you're having to coach classes to wait and you don't have somebody, hey, between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. And then maybe like we have people just 5 to 8 that like, maybe it's a little more lenient, but if you're not set up, like you're not going to succeed in paid marketing because man, if I'm seeking some, I'm an impatient person, impatient. If I'm calling somebody and they're not answering, I'm going to the next one on the list because I have a problem. If I'm looking for, for example, I need somebody to come out and fix my sprinklers, I'm going down the list. And if you're not responding to me quickly, you got 10 minutes and I'm going to the next one, right? So I think the biggest thing is response time, quickly responding to people. And here's the big point that we keep seeing right now. There's a lot of like mentors and companies that are like, oh, ask them all these questions. Like you have a finite amount of time to book an appointment. These people, you're forgetting that they might be with their kids, that they're driving, that they're at work. Like they don't have time to have a full-on conversation with you about all their past history. And here's the tad bit. You should not care if they've done CrossFit. Like stop asking that question. You're going to find it out when they come in for a consult.
Listen, hold on, not to cut you off. You know you're going to get me going with that. That's the laziest question that you can ask. If you've done CrossFit, like it doesn't matter if they've done CrossFit. And all of us that are in the CrossFit community, if someone has done CrossFit, they will let you know. You do not have to ask that question. Correct. So can we just get past that? No more asking that question to anyone. If they done CrossFit, don't worry. They'll let you know. We let everyone know. So don't ask that lazy question anymore. All right, Blake, you can keep going. I just had to jump in.
So I think, somebody comes in, you got to get them responding quickly. And then it's really quick. Like, hey, are you looking for, like, if you offer group or one-on-one, are you looking for one or the other? Looking for group. Reaffirm them. Hey, Blake, that's great. We have an amazing group class. What time can you hop on a call today? Or maybe even better than that. Hey, I'm free at 3 p.m. today. Can we hop on a call? Then it puts it on them. No, but I can hop on a call at 3:30, right? So asking direct questions. If you guys are sending more than 2 to 3 sentences, you're wasting people's time and they're not going to read them. Like I have seen people send paragraphs. Like no one wants to read that. Like it's Donald Miller, story brand. We mentioned him earlier. If you make people, your goal should never be to make people burn calories trying to consume your content, right? You need them to burn calories when they're in your gym, not when they're trying to book an appointment. You're putting up barriers. I always refer, like, you want to know why Amazon Prime crushes it? I can click one button and it shows up at my doorstep. Stop making it hard to people book appointments. Like, make it simple. Don't send, and for heaven's sake, do not send them a link. Like, you're making them do the work of like you get acquiring customer. Like, unless you have 500 members and you're on a wait list, you should never send anybody a link. So
listen, you got me going. Like, that's another lazy thing that we're doing in the community, sending people links, making them do the work. Just talk to them, right? If you're texting back and forth with them and then they say, yes, what times are available? Hey, can I call you right quick for 2 minutes so we can get this scheduled, right? Because when you send a link, just so happens, what if, as it happens a lot of times, someone walks in or they get sidetracked and then they never book the appointment. Now you're trying to get them back in. Guys, book the appointment for them. Give them the options. Okay, you can keep going.
Yeah. So, I'm trying to think of other things. So a kind of guideline I gave a gym, a successful gym, because I saw they were just asking way too many questions. You can't, in long paragraphs, you can't send any more than 2 sentences when you respond to somebody. And write it like you're talking to either your grandma, your mom, or like somebody that you're like your husband, wife, spouse, or somebody you're trying to date. Act like you actually want to get to know this person, right? Like, don't act like a complete jerk and, act like, oh, well, what's your budget? Like, just talk to them like a human being, like you actually care. And, I always use a conversation that one of our gyms had. This lady goes on a tangent of like, I don't feel my best. Like, I used to be able to do things that I can't do anymore. In my mind, I'm like, this is $1,000 client, right? And they did a great job. You just reaffirm them. And if I was that person saying that, hey, Susie, I hear what you're saying. We got something in place for you, and I know it's going to work. can I call you later today? Or what time works today if I can call you? We can go over our program. And that's the way, like, reaffirm people and then just get them on a call. Stop trying to have a consult via text message. Right. So I think that's one thing. And last thing on, and then I'll let Sherman go. The last thing I can think of is just because somebody doesn't respond within a week doesn't mean they're a bad lead. Like, to be honest, the best leads are going to be ones that consume your content for a month, 2 months, and then come in. I always say, like, I use Sherman's gym as an example. He had a lady that came in the system and booked an appointment and didn't show. And a calendar year later, 12 months, reached back out and came in and signed up. That's 12 months. But she was consuming content, and then she made the decision she has to, like, do something, right? So I always say, like, people like me and Sherman, we're going to sell you if you come in the gym, but they may not be in a mental spot because, just like Stu and I will say, like, people opt in off emotion. They can be eating Doritos tonight. They get super feeling bad about themselves and they just had Doritos and a large Mountain Dew or whatever. I need fitness. And in the morning, they had some eggs and bacon and be like, oh, maybe I don't, right? Like, you have a finite time to reach those people when they're in their emotional state. And if you leave that gap, you're going to lose it. So if people don't respond, just let it go. Like, that's a point. You need a nurture sequence that's built out for a year plus so that people keep getting your content, or you need to be contacting those people because it doesn't mean they're a bad lead. Stop deleting leads that don't respond to you. It just might mean they're the person that likes to actually take time, think on things. Like, I saw an ad. We all see ads for Brook Wells and cold plunges, right? I'm looking at, do I want to spend $1,000 or $5,000? It took me 3 months to buy one because I kept going back and forth of what I actually wanted. And then I made a buying decision. So just so you guys know, it takes minimum of 8 to 10 touch points before somebody will ever make a buying decision. If you're not making 8 to 10 touch points, you're missing out on a whole lot of people.
Yeah, I think that's great, guys. I'm not going to, beat this horse. Blake did a great job of explaining that. But you definitely don't need to delete folks out of the system. Like, here's the thing. Here's another real world scenario. So let's say that, like, right now, today's Friday. I'm going out of town on Monday. I'm going on vacation for a week. If
use
I
your
decide,
snowboarding, like all your snow gear, right? Like, that's a
yeah,
good example.
yeah,
How
no,
long did
yeah,
it take you to buy that stuff?
a
Like,
year
when you
because I
saw,
went last. Yeah, because I went last year. Like, so last year when I went snowboarding, I was all, mismatch. I used different people's stuff, helmets, clothing, because I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it. And then when I came back, I fell in love with snowboarding, and I started, perusing the internet, looking at stuff, clicking on stuff, and I was just like, man, I don't know what to get. I'm asking my friends, freaking every month we're talking about it. But then as the trip got closer, there was two companies that were on my mind that I had seen countless ads, countless. I never clicked on it because I'm not one of those, like, I don't click on stuff. But without those ads, I would have never decided to use both of, because I use both of those companies because I got some stuff from them, some stuff from the other. And that's the thing, guys. You have to be out in front of people so that when they are ready, they know exactly where to go, right? When the time is right, they say, okay, time is right. I know I'm going to this place, right? So again, just because someone doesn't click on your ad, come in next day, start paying you 2 days later, doesn't mean that they're not interested, guys. They just may not be interested right now, right? So you have to stay on top of that. Guys, Blake, we're already like 3 minutes over, guys. This was a good episode. We're not gonna take up any more time. If you need help, reach out to us. If you have questions, reach out to us. Sherman at lassoframework.com, Blake at lassoframework.com. But
or go to
again, guys,
our website, go to the website, book a call. So if that's the easiest way.
yeah, there's plenty of ways. You guys know how to get in contact with us. But as usual, tell a friend to tune in. Leave us a 5-star rating, guys. That helps us a ton. For you guys that don't know that or you know it, do it right now. After this episode, go leave us a 5-star review on Apple. We thank you guys. and we will chat or Spotify. We'll chat next week, guys. All right. See you.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to the Gym Marketing Made Simple podcast with Blake Ruff and Sherman Merricks. We hope you enjoyed. We believe marketing should increase revenue and not waste money. So book your free call today. Head on over to lassoframework.com. That's lassoframework.com and find the right words, get more customers, and increase your revenue. We'll see you here next time.